So, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, I am returning to the world of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, one of the biggest disappointments in 2024 in terms of gaming. And I want to say this game had every advantage to succeed. What I mean by that is, imagine you had a game that you could create. It had the backing of the DC logo, the DC label. You had Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. You had the five most iconic Justice League characters at your disposal. And you can't make a game that is likable, playable, and profitable? Let me just say something, ladies and gentlemen, because in the marketing for this, we saw a couple of women who were promoted, featured, saying things that were the normal PR fluff, but throwing in a bit of woke propagandistic nonsense. Corporate speak, sure, but it was still that same type of DEI, DIE, woke garbage. And the things that they're saying, the things that they're peddling, the things that they're pushing, they do not resonate with normal gamers. What normal gamers want, and here's the thing. Somebody like me and somebody like Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers. On politics, I very much don't think that we would agree overall on very much. I'm a libertarian Christian conservative. I don't know what he is. He seems leftist sometimes, left of centers other times, but he's on the left pretty much. I would venture to say that our politics don't overlap very much. However, I think what we could both agree on is that at the end of the day, whether you agree with him or you agree with me on politics, Donald Trump's going to be the next president in 2025, by the way. Go vote for Trump in 2024. Come on, baby. I just thought I'd throw that in there. By the way, 4547 merch, you can buy it in the link below. I'm going to plug my own store for a second. So, whether you agree with him or whether you agree with me on politics, at the end of the day, we both agree that you should be able to play a good, solid, quality game and have it be great. Have it be exceptional. I don't want conservative politics in video games. I think sometimes it's cool. Like Senator Armstrong, where I know they were memeing it up and they were, he was the bad guy and he was the villain. I don't mind that. I don't mind if they put conservative values as, the evil big bad, because Senator Armstrong is so goddamn iconic. But the point is, I don't mind little things like that. I just don't want politics at all. I don't want anyone's politics unless it's the politics of that world. So, like, for example, a morality system in Mass Effect, where you do have to play politically one way or another for the sake of that universe. That's great. I think that's fantastic. And the further that you can go into that, the better in some cases. And, hey, if you're clever enough, if you're good enough to make it relate in an interesting, compelling, and non-just completely obvious way to our world and our politics, mazel tov, more power to you. I think that's fine. But that's not what happens. What happens is we get a giant, ridiculous trans rainbow flag. This right here is, for me, the same as them putting a Nazi flag. If white supremacists were working on this game and they said, we want to put the neo-Nazi flag, this is as evil and as disgusting and as off-putting as that for me. Because of what that represents, what it is, how it's used. The same type of indoctrination that the Nazis would use to try to go after kids. These people on the left think that it is perfectly within their purview to go after kids because they're not having kids. So they'll take your kids. They'll sexualize your kids. Hell, there was a song. You remember that song? The song, We're Coming for Your Kids. That song where they put it out from the San Francisco gay choir, and it turned out that a couple people on that list were a bunch of convicted pedophiles. Crazy how that works. The people on the left, Kyle Rittenhouse, shoots a couple people coming to end his life, and it turns out that two of the people he shot and killed were convicted pedophiles, like some of the most evil scourge on the planet Earth. Just, just a coincidence that the left attracts people like that. Some of the most foul, degenerate, subhuman, bottom-feeding piles of waste. But this is what they put in their games as a way to show you that this is ours now. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not. We welcomed you in. You were welcomed in. You were said, hey, this is a hobby that we enjoy. Welcome. You decided, you know what? F you. You gave us the middle finger. You insulted us. You started moving things around, changing things, rearranging things. This is the way it's going to be. Let me tell you, the goodwill is done. It is at an end. Not only are they trying to charge us more money for games, we're talking like $80 now in some cases, $100. Not only is the price going up, the quality of the game is going down. We can't even expect a game to work properly at launch. And then we have shit like this. So as we're playing this bad, broken, buggy game, we just realized that we just paid $100 for it. We realized we just paid $80 or $100 for this game that is completed by amateurs, that is wokeified by idiots, people who are unqualified and unworthy for their position. All of these women who are talking about, oh yeah, we wanted to add progressive values into the game. You can't even make the game work. And as I see it, if you can't make the game work, the last thing on your mind should be your social politics in the game. Because it's an insult. If I were gay, let me tell you something. I would be insulted by this. Because I would think that the gay community and the black community, that their modus operandi would be to say, you know what? We can do it better. And to go out there and not really brag about your race or your gender or your sexual orientation, because that's cringe, that's lame, that's pathetic. Those are immutable things that you didn't choose. You were born with them. But what you can choose is the quality of job that you do. So, you're given this job. You could knock it out of the park. You could use what you have to make something that's so good that it's undeniable by everyone. And that, ironically, shuts up the haters. If the content is good, Logan Paul proved this. Logan Paul is one of the most evil pieces of human garbage on the planet. He's a scammer, he's a low IQ conman, he's a bottom feeder. He's a guy so fucking stupid that he actually recorded a dead body in a forest and made fun of it and then decided to upload it to the internet for clicks and views. That guy continued to make content that people liked, and suddenly all was forgiven. So it wouldn't even matter as much if shit like this were in a game, if the game worked at launch, if the story was phenomenal, if it was true to the lore, if the characters were compelling, if the dialogue made sense, if everything else was right. Stupid shit like this could be forgiven. But it's in combination with all of it. You are expecting me and other people to pay exorbitant amounts of money for this low effort garbage, this woke crap that you're making with no duty of care for what you're actually doing. And so I think this game absolutely deserves every bit of the hate that it's receiving and more. And you know what? I think the people who work behind the scenes to make this thing happen, they should be criticized. They should be mocked. Make fun of them. Make memes of them. Make memes of the people that thought that they were too good, that they were better than you, that your money didn't matter, Your love for this didn't matter because they had an agenda to push. Of course they were going to have Harley Quinn kill Batman. Of course. Of course they were going to take Poison Ivy and turn her from an attractive woman into some gross, creepy looking child. Of course. Of course they were going to take Harley Quinn from her 2015 look in the Arkham games, where she's attractive, where, yeah, she's showing a massive amount of cleavage. Nothing wrong with that. And you turn her into the character that we got in this game. Because everything that you do, everything that you touch, you have the reverse Midas touch. Everything you touch turns to dog shit. Everywhere you look, everything you touch just turns into a steaming pile. There's no exception. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this game will go in the garbage of history. People are wanting refunds. It's not going anywhere. It's just tiring to see all this woke garbage. And it is woke garbage. It's people who put stuff like this into the game deliberately, intentionally. They put dialogue into the game deliberately, intentionally. Like Lex Luthor is going to say, wow, isn't it amazing that Wonder Woman lives on, was it Themyscira? I can never remember the name. Themyscira. Lives on an island of all women. Isn't that idyllic? Isn't that amazing? Why would she come to live in the mud with us? That is the ramblings of a bitter, fat, delusional feminist that doesn't actually understand where Diana comes from. Diana comes from a tribe of women who, in order to get pregnant, they row their boats out to sea, find a bunch of innocent sailors, get them drunk, sleep with them, and then kill them. I mean, I'm sure there are other bits of lore that aren't as gruesome. I'm sure they toned down the Amazons. But people who are fans of DC are going to know what I'm talking about. That is how they get pregnant, according to a piece of lore. I don't think that's very idyllic. I don't think that's some benevolent, enlightened philosophy. Oh, and by the way, if the women have a boy, yeah, nah, that's that boy doesn't get shipped off to to Amazon male feminist training. The boy gets he gets axed. I think it's actually worse than that. I think they actually use a stick and sever its head, which is, my point is, these people working behind the scenes, they deserve your mockery and they deserve your hatred. They do. Because imagine that you were to go into something that they care about. Imagine that you were to go start hosting a show or being involved in something they cared about, and you changed the whole thing. Because you were on some crusade. You were on some, you were on some fool's errand, but you thought that you were going to make a huge difference. So you started changing the things that they like. You started adding more of your religious iconography. You started adding more crosses, more references to Jesus, which I think would be a good thing. But to them, it's, they're demonic. They recoil from that. They recoil from goodness and light and grace. The Black Templars would have something about them being impure. So, they would not take kindly to you doing that. They'd be very much against it. They would be shrieking mad. But when they do it, it's perfectly okay. Well, the truth is, it's not, and you have every right to vocalize that you're not a fan of it. And so I think that's what I'm going to keep doing. Not just about this game, but about other games going forward. And I think you should too. I don't think you should be afraid to let your opinion be known about this. You're not in favor of their religion. And that's exactly what it is. It's a cult. It is a fanatical cult that is anti-human, anti-capitalist, anti-logic, anti-reason, but it is anti-human. It is a Marxist, fundamentally flawed ideology that no one should want any part of because it is evil at its core. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I will bid you a good day and I will see you next time.